Yeah, great. Thank you. Really appreciate it, Kyle. My name is Dan Sandler. I am the head of partnerships here at Typeform. Manage both our HubSpot and Super partnerships. So, first, I'd like to introduce who's going to be speaking on our side. Now, we did have some login issues, so unfortunately, Elsa was not able to make it in. So I apologize. I will take her piece of this presentation. It will not be as good as if she were to do it. But we'll get there, we'll get through it, and we'll keep working through. I'd first just also like to take a moment to thank Deanna and the Super team for inviting us to the Admin Hug, and Kyle and the HubSpot team for inviting us. You've been wonderful partners. As many here may know, Super recently launched their Typeform Embeddable Builder integration, so we're really excited to be working with Super on that. Super users now have the ability to access Typeform directly inside of their platform in HubSpot. So super thrilled, super excited to be on this call, on this webinar, and chatting with you all. Typeforms, we simply connect Typeform through Super, into HubSpot. You can now flow your data from Super directly from Typeform into HubSpot. So we're going to get through a few different things here today. For those of you who may not be familiar with Typeform is a professionally different form builder and data collection platform. What makes us different is we're designed for both the creator and the respondent, which makes us really different from a lot of form providers that are survey providers that are out there. We give creators superpowers, so to say, for a developer and designers to create really engaging, really beautiful forms that your respondents will and actually enjoy filling out. So it's really a win-win for the companies. It's a win-win for the customers because they enjoy doing all that stuff on their own. And I'm also happy to say that Typeform is an essential app in the HubSpot marketplace. So if you've not checked us out, please go to our marketplace there, check it out, and give it a try. So we'll move down to the next slide, Nico. So what we've understood, right, there's a massive market need, right? If you look at this slide, we go through the marketing technology landscape, it's exploded. You can't even see any of the logos on this slide. The visual covers growth in the marketing technology space. And if you can believe it, teams are now patching together on average 6 or more tools to get their workflows to work properly. Simultaneously, most marketers, they seem to be asked to do more with less. So we thought, who better to solve this than Typeform? How can we enable you to do more with less, utilizing Typeform, utilizing our integration? So we came up with a simple and easy to use solution that helps your teams do more with less software tools and less design development and data and ops resources, which is tremendous. So why forms? That's the biggest question. Well, most forms, they have static and dull design. So what this means is it's less likely to keep someone engaged. And let's be honest, people love using mobile phones for everything nowadays. I'm on my mobile phone. I even know a guy who works only on his mobile phone to do everything. And traditional forms are a pain to fill out on mobile. I've done it. You've done it. It's just a mess. So rather than deliver a cool brand experience, most forms are unprofessional looking and they're repetitive. It's the same thing, question after question after question, no brandability. That's why Typeform was created. We created a product that enables you to be efficient and effective when creating and sending out our forms or your form. Typeform enables you to work the way that you want to work with the integrations into over 120 other products, so you can create the workflow and build a form and the processes that are not only beautiful, but something that fits exactly into your workflow and something that the customer will simply enjoy filling out. So we'll move on. And at the end of the day, right, the results speak for themselves. Using Typeform and HubSpot together, your Typeforms will increase conversion rates. It would give you more actionable data and improve your brand metrics. What more can you really ask for? So I at this point, I was going to pass this on to Elsa. I will end up taking these next few slides here and going through. So again, forgive me. Typeform's been known for great form filling experience and for over a decade now. But over the course of time, right, we've also had creators, our customers, facing new challenges. So Elsa, who runs our product team for the integrations side of things, we'll be talking about the things that she's doing for the customers, about the many ways in which our customers, you all, prefer to work with us to drive the value. So on this slide, what you're seeing is our customers have been asking us for several things. We've had major releases in just the last few weeks in which we delivered many of our most requested features at once. And we're able to resolve hundreds of feature request tickets in the process. So what did we build? That's the big question that you probably want to know. We've introduced over 15 new features, including new ways to engage your audience with video, enrich leads, analyze data with AI, and automate manual workflows. All of this you're going to see in a demo that Nico is going to provide. We've also introduced 3 new growth pricing plans to ensure teams of all sizes have access to sophisticated and easy marketing tools. And that's just the beginning. We're starting to optimize the end-to-end customer acquisition flow because it's such a large growth driver for businesses. Every business that we've talked to is looking to do this. So as HubSpot admins, which is near and dear to your workflows, next we'll be working to optimize more use cases. So now let's show you some HubSpot specific improvements that we made. Part of the release that we recently launched was tailored to improve experiences for HubSpot creators. We see our customers scaling and wanted to enable them to very quickly create forms with their HubSpot workflow in mind. So now when you create a new form that is designed to send responses to HubSpot, you'll have the tools you need in one place. We just released this new version of our builder for HubSpot customers, and it tackles the needs for people like you. This will help you create your forms with pre-integrated HubSpot setup. So also plug in the workflow with other tools like Slack, Google Sheets, Zapier, and many, many more integrations. So why did we build this? We found the customers using HubSpot and Typeform together. On the next slide there, Nico. HubSpot and Typeform together needed a really seamless experience to keep their HubSpot contacts fresh. With our latest release of the HubSpot integration with Typeform, you can now map your properties while you create the questions from your form. Very easy. You can even suggest the text and the questions using AI. It's much faster and easier to create the integration with this release. And we've already seen some great results from customers who've tried it. Now that I've shared what we've released in the past few months, my friend, the wonderful Nico, our developer advocate at Typeform, is going to walk you through a live demo. And then I'll be back to chat with you in a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan. So for the purpose of this demo, I would like to embrace a new role in this company. I'm going to work as like kind of the marketing person. Normally I'm touching code, but today I would like to show you how things work inside Typeform. If you haven't logged into Typeform in a while, you may see some stuff that have changed. We just had a whole uplift on the brand. And for our example here, we're going to use a fictitious company that we're going to call Glow & Co. It's a beauty product company. Let's say for me, it's going to be a hair product company. And we're looking for resellers around the world. And we have a form where people can register their interest to be part of our resellers. And so we want to make sure that our sales teams get the best companies, product, website out there to resell our brand. And so this is the form that we want to show to those potential resellers. The first thing that we're going to do is like, we may be a fictitious company, but we care about branding. And so the first thing I wanted to show you is how we're going to be able to take care of our branding across all the forms that we're going to create. So here, there's a small design here, but what we have is what we call brand kit. So here it has been selected for this form, but if I want, I can go and select it. So here, this is where I have everything about my brand, the logo, the colors, the font, if I have a custom one, even, and some assets that I can use across my forms. Like this, anybody else in the company, in the team, can go and create a form that's branded and looks on brand and looks great for us. So that was like the first step, is like, once we have that form, let's make it look good. Now in this form, I need to collect a couple of information to know who people are and what they're planning to do. But as we said, we're trying to build forms a bit differently. We have forms that are a bit more conversational. And so one thing that we introduced recently is the possibility to ask questions via video. So here right now, like I don't get the chance to talk to you and be like, oh, this is the Glowing Code, this is the company that we're building. And so what I'm going to add here is a video where I can go ahead and record myself if I want to, if I was able to pick the right camera and not OBS. You should see me here, but I have a colleague that does that way better. And so instead, I'll just cancel this. I'll get a video that we previously uploaded, previously recorded. And so if I want to, I can go ahead and upload that video instead. You will see Susie looks way more professional and can present the.
Hey there, sustainable beauty enthusiasts. Welcome to.
And she will present the rest of the thing. And something also new that we launched recently with Typeform is the possibility to ask more than one question per screen. And this is exactly what you see here. Before, what we had was just one question per screen, like you will see in those places here. Now we added a possibility for you to have more than one question per screen. And you can customize and add as many questions as you need to the screen. So like this, you get people a bit more engaged. They get to see your content directly, and they don't switch between screens, and you reduce the chances of losing them as they progress to the form. Next, now I asked about their name, about the company they're working for, a website. I may need to ask them about where they work and their email address, so I can reach out and get in touch with them. Well, for this, we have an email field like we always had, and probably the first field we built like 10 years ago. But one thing that we added is data enrichment. So you just toggle on here, a small toggle. And what we're going to do now is we're going to try to fetch some information regarding the email of that customer or that prospect. I'll show you how it looks like in the results. I did a test with my Typeform email. And it's going to return a bunch of enrich information. So what was my email? Oh, my email is here, nicolas.grenié at typeform.com. And you see here, I can get a lot of things about the company, where it's coming from, where the company is based, what is the company doing, how many employees, different codes, different things like this. And so suddenly you have way more information, and that's way less things you need to ask to your customer. Just imagine if they had to go through the form and ask for all this information, people will probably get tired. So here you're able to get all this information automatically just by asking someone's email address. This is working with business addresses right now, and we're looking to probably extend this to other type of address. To prevent you from getting spam, there's another thing that we can do, so you don't get many useless informations and submissions on your form. We implemented a way through reCAPTCHA, so you can turn that on. And for people that seem a bit fishy when they put a wrong email address, something that looks a bit odd, or they come from different locations that look not usual, they will see the CAPTCHA that you see in other places in the internet. And they won't be able to submit this until they've solved the CAPTCHA. With this, we hope to improve the quality of your leads and making sure that the relevant people, the right people, are seeing this form and are sending their information to you. Now, I went through all those questions. I got their name, the company, the website, the work email, and it's already enough for me to get started on this lead. And so I don't want to lose that information. And so what I can add right now, and this is also quite new, is a partial submit point, kind of like a break point into the flow of the form. If someone reach up to that point, I'm going to collect the information. If I don't do it, I have to wait until they reach the end of the form, and I'm going to lose this information. So just say here, I'm putting a breakpoint. I would like to show you also how that looks like. So let's say I'm going to that form. You see Susie here, I'm Nico. I work for Shoe and Chic. If you don't know Shoe and Chic, I'll let you check it out. And well, I'm still going to use my Typeform domain. But right now, I decide to close the form and not continue. Normally, you'd be like, oh, I lost a customer because they didn't go and submit all the information all the way to the end. Well, with the partial submit point that we added, we have collected this information. And we can see that Nico from Shu and Chic has reached a partial point, and we have the information until now. And because we have this enrichment, we already have a bunch of information. But if they're coming back, we should be able to complete the rest of the form. And I went one further, and they will continue the thing as where they stop. Now, I have here, I would like to ask them questions about their challenges regarding shipment, distributing the cosmetic products. I'm not really the person that knows about this in the company, and so I'm going to need a bit of help. And you know how it is nowadays. AI is here to help you out. So here we have a way inside the Typeform product to help you with suggestion of like what should be the options that we have here. So we put just one of like, oh, I need help improving the supply chain and its efficiency. Let's see what are the other suggestions the AI has for us. Well, only one. This is just because we have collected responses. We should be fine. But could you give me maybe just more than just one thing? Yeah, distribution. And so you can get as many suggestions as you want. Think about what do you like for desserts. This is then it's going to ask you cookie, brownie, I want an ice cream, and all the different options that are available. So like this also you gain in efficiency, building your form and formulating the right options and the right questions. Now, I have all my things here, but I would like to connect this to my CRM. CRM of choice here is HubSpot. And you can see here on the top, we have a logo of HubSpot, which means that our firm is already connected. And this is probably where this whole thing is going to fail because of the current outage. But let's see. Now I want to ask a question actually of like, where are those people located? Which regions are they serving? And I know this is a field that I already have on HubSpot, so I don't want to recreate the options. I don't want to have this twice, do the work twice. I can go ahead and actually here, add a question. And we have a whole option here, create with HubSpot. This is listing all the fields that you have already on HubSpot. And so we know which fields, like which types they are, and we can already connect it to them. And so we have one that is shipping region. And if we add it here, this comes already with the different choices of regions that we have defined on HubSpot. So, and it's going to stay synchronized. So if I add an option on the HubSpot definition of that field, it will be synchronized here. Like this, I don't have to do this manual work. And as you see here as well, this is the other part of our integration. We can see that this field is not connected, which means that when the form is going to be submitted, we have this field mapped. But we might need to map other fields as well. And so when we go here, we see also that we find all the fields from the enrichment and all the questions. So we can just go ahead and be like, all right, the question about the name should go to the first name. The question about the company should go to the company, and so on. You are mapping all the Typeform fields to HubSpot. And this is one of the improvements, like you're doing this as you're building the form. You don't have to think about this afterwards. You are also connecting, as we saw, creating fields that are directly synchronized with. Now, now that I have this, I have, I want to reach out to people once they have submitted this. And I want to make sure that our sales team is aware when there's a lead coming up. And for this, I'm going to introduce a bit of logic because I want to do a bit of lead scoring, making sure that the sales team, like we're quite popular, we're going to receive a lot of requests, but we want to make sure that only the right people see this and the right leads are getting routed to book a call with us. So we added at the end, I didn't show you this, but here, we added a Calendly, and so people can book directly a time, but we don't want to show that to everyone, otherwise the calendar is going to be full. And so we're going to add some logic. And in our logic, we're going to go to the last question, which is this question number 5. And I already worked on this. We're going to say, okay, how many orders could you dispatch per month? And we had different options, less than 100, between 100 and 1,000, more than 1,000. And depending on the number of orders that they answered, we want to score this and give them a low score if they say less than 100, a medium score, and then a high score if they say more than 1,000. We also want to add some stuff to the scoring if they are based in our ideal location. Right now, we're trying to expand to North America. So we can also use data that we got from the enrichment and say, oh, if they're from North America, then we give them a better score. Now, with this score, we're going to try to segment this on the hotness of the deal. Are they a low interesting deal? Are they a big quality deal? This is where we define those different segments. So we also have logic that says, oh, if the score is greater, let's say this lead is a high quality lead. In all other cases, we just gonna say that in all other cases, and so then we can do this. Oh, if the lead is of high quality, then go to the next step, which is book a time with us. If not, then we'll just show you the thank you for your time. We'll get back to you later screen. So if we save this, I'll just connect it this way, otherwise segment. And then you see that now our form has branching. And so depending on who you are and the way you're answering the questions, you might see a different screen and you might have a different experience. And so we have our form, we have submitted this, and people are breaking their stuff. The final thing that I want to do to get people aware of the leads that are coming is to post something on Slack. And so for this, we have follow-ups. And so follow-up here, it's already set up, but I want to make sure that when the leads are high quality, people act on them very quickly. And we use Slack as a way of communicating internally. And so I have something that says, all right, it can trigger on all the responses, but as we said, we only want the high quality leads. So we say, okay, when the segment is defined as high quality, let's do one action, which is sending to Slack. So you're logging into your Slack, you pick the channel that's relevant for you. In our case, this is our sales channel. And we want to pick, like you pick here also all the fields that you want to send. So we want to pick the name, the company, the email, and then the scoring and the segment, making sure this is a high score. And now every time there's a response that matches this criteria, we'll get a Slack message for our sales team, and they can act on it right away. If you want to do more things than just Slack, you can receive email for yourself to be like, oh, there's a new response, go check it out, or send an email to the respondent as well, letting them know that you have received their submission. Now, we have received results, and what I would like to show you is the new stuff we talked about also, and I have this on another screen with a form that has way more responses, which was, let me find the right screen, is what we do with AI and how to analyze responses. And I don't find the right window. This one, let's do this. Yes. All right, so we have, it's a very similar form. It's pretty much the same form that I just showed you. And we collected a bunch of results. You can see that we have collected responses. Here is a typical view you have where we show you analytics of like how many people voted this thing or how many people voted something else. But now what we just launched is a way for you to ask questions directly to your data. And so you can mix and match the different criteria here. So if you wanted to check, for example, how many people in the European region were interested by vegan makeup, or how many needs we have in Europe, then you would just like ask your question, generate it, and it will give you the answer. And then you can add a chart and keep that chart there, and look for it whenever you need it. All right, so with this, I think I showed you how to create a form that is beautiful, that is your brand. So you get to ask the questions the way you represent yourself. You get to put yourself out there and collecting the right information, relevant information, scoring the leads, and sending that afterwards to your CRM and to here Slack for your internal communication. All right, I'll let you go back to our slides.
Great, thank you, Nico. That was awesome. Welcome, Elsa. I'll continue going since it took forever for you to get in. So I'll take over the rest of the slides here. So that was a wonderful demo. We appreciate it. I hope you all saw some differences and differentiation between Typeform and other form products, and how best to use Typeform with some of our updates. So what you just saw was a recent release that we had. It was personalized follow-ups. and reducing the time they have to spend on discovery calls. So you're giving more information, enabling your customers or your sales reps or teams to follow up more easily. And there's some other things that we've launched. Unlocking deeper insights, enriching your data, getting better qualified leads is really important. Improving that completeness of that data, streamlining your workflows, right? You saw Nico show how, one more slide, Nico, there, thank you. You saw how Nico showed how you can get your HubSpot, your data into HubSpot, as well as using it into Slack, right? So how you can streamline your workflows to really be efficient and effective for follow-ups and that issues there. Getting better insights, faster, more knowledge, using AI. You're saving time on analysis, letting AI do that for you, letting it make you better at your job. It's really important now. I know there's a lot of questions. Is AI good? Is it bad? What's it going to do for us? Is it going to take people's jobs? Well, if you use it in a good manner, which I think we're doing in Typeform, it's here to help you. It's here to make it better for you. And then finally, on the horizon, on the last slide here, and then I think we'll open it up to some questions if we have it. I know there's been some Q&A and questions being answered in the chat, but some of the things that we're doing and we're building, right? We're going to further streamline your marketing workflows, build deeper integrations, new follow-up triggers, more lead activity data. We're going to unlock deeper insights from audience data using AI for follow-up questions. Aggregating data across forms, AI data analysts in enactments. So a lot of things are happening on that front. And then increasing the integrity of your data. It's really important. It's a lot of what we've been hearing from our customers. Like, how do we make sure the data is good, is useful? So duplicate entry prevention, capture every response, and then obviously invisible reCAPTCHA is really important. So with that, if there's anything we need to elaborate on or anything that we need to give you, I don't know if you have anything you wanted to add, welcome to the call, but thank you.
Yeah, first I want to say hi and thank Superd for including us in the call today. I used my brief time with all of you to answer some questions in chat and in the Q&A, but one thing I wanted to point out was that Nicola asked in the chat about the new version of HubSpot mapping hidden fields to multiple choice. We actually just pushed a fix on that. So we're still continuing to iterate on this new version. It's supposed to be easier for our customers. It's supposed to be easier for all of you. And if you're finding that it's not, please find me. And I really want to talk through your workflow and solve the problems for you. So yeah, thanks for everyone's interest. We're excited to get more questions and get feedback on what we've done today.
Awesome. Let's tackle some of these questions because I see them in there. So Kyle, are you still on status?
The status seems to have evened out. So I'm happy to feed some of these up. We have a lot of questions in the chat today. Looks like, as Elsa said, she's been very busy responding to those. So I think except for Chad's most recent one he just dropped in, we're pretty caught up on the chat. I'll go monitor the Q&A. So again, Q&A, friends, if you want to find the button at the bottom and click it, you can upvote questions you most want to hear. There are a handful in here. We might actually get through all of them today. That would be something. But still want to make sure we're working through most popular, least popular. While people are voting on those, the question in the chat from Chad is, can you fill in fields with query parameters as opposed to actual hidden fields?
Yeah, I can answer to this. What we call hidden fields on Typeform are actually, in the end, when you share the link of your form, they are actually query parameters that are being added to the URL. So this is how you pass information to the form, and this is collected alongside the answers that the respondent puts in.
Thanks for that. Okay.
And yeah,
go ahead.
Let me know if you have let me know if you have like follow-up question if you didn't answer. But like, to give you an example, a form is on nico.typeform.com. You want to pass the email address, you add !email equal, and this is where you put your HubSpot merge tag type of thing. So it also fills it.
Okay. So the top two questions are both how Typeform differs from the new form beta in HubSpot, which I know we just touched on. Is there anything additionally, any of you want to add to that? Or should we just move on to the next question?
I would just encourage all of you to try and see if the HubSpot form is good for your use case, or if Typeforms is better suited. There's really only one way to find out.
Sure. And just as a general practical bit of advice from a guy who's worked at HubSpot for a long time and loves HubSpot, but also loves our ecosystem, Typeform is always going to be better at forms than HubSpot, because Typeform is what they've specialized in forms, right? Similarly, Calendly is always going to out-feature our calendar features. I think what HubSpot tries to do is give you fine, basic starting points. And if that's good enough for you, great. But if you're looking for more advanced things, a lot of the things they showed you today are pretty incredible. And if that's something you need as part of your strategy, and if that's going to help your conversion rates improve, it doesn't hurt HubSpot's feeling if you want to use Typeform instead. we are partners with them, and we welcome you. We want to empower you to choose. So it's not a moralistic question at all. Nobody's feelings get hurt. Just do what's best for your company. That's always the right answer. Okay. I don't know who Keith Lemon is. Apparently this is a UK joke. But Nico, a lot of people think you remind them of him. So maybe
I'll check it out.
Yeah. Have a couple different questions on that. Okay, some of these were answered live, answered in writing, but I think it's worth revisiting and sharing with the whole group. Can you apply any of HubSpot rules, for example, no free mails, to Typeform questions?
You'd have to remake the rules. We don't pull the HubSpot rules through the integration, but you could use logic to make sure that you're not getting results in your form that you're not looking for. And that's probably the recommended course, but we don't pull HubSpot's rules into our builder.
If someone does a partial submit, would that info be pushed in HubSpot as a contact? We may have a problem if we store that data in the CRM without an actual submission. I assume this is getting at like GDPR sort of compliance. If people don't check the checkbox, what do you do with that?
So you can, but that's if you want. You don't have to send a partial submit to HubSpot if you don't want to. So if it's going to be a problem to send CRM data that doesn't feel fully opted in for your company or your users, then you shouldn't do it. Or you could add your partial submit point well after opt-in has happened, and make sure, in a message, say to the user, your information will be, you'll hear from someone on our sales team or something like that. It's really up to the builder of the form to create that experience.
I think.
And one thing sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think for this group, the answer, it's up to you, is always the best answer. That's what everyone says. You guys have control. Go ahead, Nico.
No. One thing I may have go through very quickly is what was the experience for the respondent when they actually reach a submit point. They will see a submit action instead of being just an okay, move on to the next question. So they have a little hint that at least here they're submitting their information.
Yeah. Okay. This may be kind of niche, but I think there's actually two different questions here that I think are worth touching on together. One person says, we have some forms that create case emails in Salesforce, quote requests, and the forms have to be sent a specific way. I'm curious how Typeform might work for that. And also I see you commented that you have a Salesforce integration. Similarly, Dan, I think in response to another question, called out that a key difference between HubSpot's form beta and Typeform is that Typeform integrates seamlessly with a lot of other tools. So do one of you want to talk to this point of how HubSpot might not be the only thing you're integrating Typeform with and the advantages of that?
Yeah, I know that at Typeform, we use a lot of tools. So for instance, the three of us on the call today share a HubSpot instance, and we've been sharing it for 3 years now. And we have responses go to HubSpot, Slack, and Google Sheets with that one form. And this is something that a lot of our customers do. So we find that most of the forms are triggering multiple different workflows throughout our users' kind of tech stack. So that's something that most of our customers who integrate with HubSpot are also integrating with several other things.
Cool. Oh, sorry, were you gonna say more?
Yeah, someone just asked about an integration with PandaDoc. We don't have one, but it's been requested before, so it's on our radar. That's an
interesting point, because HubSpot does have an integration with PandaDoc. So there are ways to connect these things together. You all as admins definitely have a lot to think about. So Nicola asked about, would we be able to change the name of the forms that are getting created in HubSpot by Typeform? Now I think it's possible, but we are not allowed to do it based on documentation because we can break the integration.
Yeah, there used to be there was something that in the older version of the integration that when a form was created, it said something that was like a little bit scary to the HubSpot admin. It said something like, do not change the name of the form, but that was poorly worded. We fixed it. You can change the name of the form. Don't change the fields and properties. That's where you're going to find a problem and you might break the connection. But you can change the name and it's easier to stay organized with changing the names.
Got it. Oscar asks, I am looking to build a tool for our sales folks that are building out projects, onboarding, and retainer engagements. Currently building this out in a spreadsheet with calculated fields. Is it possible with Typeform in any way? Also, second part of this, I am looking at a platform that will help us run onboardings as a PM tool and lets us build out mini projects that guides clients through our onboarding. With the use of videos in Typeform and other content in Typeform, able to do this in a mock LM, I assume that's learning management style, where we can build content through steps as a form. That was a long question. I apologize. That was a lot to read at you.
That's okay. I read it a couple of minutes ago, so I've already been ruminating. The first part, I think based on what you said, Oscar, that you could do this with probably a combination of logic, conditional logic when you build the form. And as long as you get it to route to the right places, you can treat that form as like an onboarding and lead form at the same time. It probably wouldn't be the easiest form to build, but you should be able to do that. And then you can keep your spreadsheet because all of that can also go to your spreadsheet as well through an integration. And then when it comes to onboarding specifically, we use Typeform for onboarding and it's really powerful. We've also seen other customers do it. So that could be done as well. And videos would definitely be compelling for that use case.
Okay. For follow-up emails after the form or quiz is completed in Typeform, would you recommend sending the emails via Typeform or HubSpot?
That's a tough question. I don't know. I think it depends on.
I think it's one of those, it's up to you.
Or both. Yeah.
But if you want to go into details, the emails that we send as notification from Typeform, they're sent from a Typeform domain. They're not sent from your own domain. They're plain text. So for anything that's like branding and tracking and stuff, it might be a bit harder. But as you said, for email, like Typeform might be really good at forms. For stuff about emails, I think HubSpot is good at emails and marketing, right?
Let the tools play to their strengths.
Exactly.
So what I'm taking away from this is Typeform does send emails, and it's probably very simple to set up. If you just need something basic, a confirmation, we got your stuff, it's totally fine. But if you want to do something fancy and branded and connected to other workflows and things you're doing, maybe move that into HubSpot. And then I think this is the last question we have right now in the Q&A. I see lots of stuff happening in the chat, but I haven't looked at what it is yet. With the Typeform integration, how do the forms appear in HubSpot, or do they live exclusively in Typeform?
They appear in HubSpot as well, and that's what the question about naming the form was about. So everything in Typeform will look really native, like what you saw in Nico's demo, but in HubSpot, it lives alongside any HubSpot form. So you can have both, actually. Like sometimes customers will want just a contact us form as like a very basic HubSpot form, and then something that's more like onboarding or with video as a Typeform. So they'll all show up in your HubSpot forms view and be in line with one another, and you can organize them there.
Okay. Well, thank you. Great answers, great questions. If anyone wants to slip in a last couple of questions, we do have a little bit of time, but I think we're pretty much going to start wrapping up here. So Dan, Nico, and Elsa, thanks so much for being here. If folks want to connect with you after this, where on the internet do you live? Where do you like that to happen?
Yeah, Elsa put it in the chat, but you can always reach out to us at partnerships@typeform.com. So if you have any further questions, you want to get a hold of us, you want to learn a little bit more, and we'll be able to direct you where you need to go.
And we will be at Inbound, right?
We will also, yes, and we'll also be at Inbound. Yeah, thank you. I will be there. A lot of people from my team will be there. We'll have a solutions engineer there. So if you have any deeper questions, we'll be able to answer those at inbound. We will have a booth. Forgive me, I don't know the exact booth number, but we'll be there and you'll be able to see us. And we'll also be part of the super activation at inbound as well. So super excited for that.
Great. Well, thank you three so much for being here. Thank you all for muscling through login difficulties to be here for this conversation. Really grateful we were able to make it work. Final CTA or FYI or update or whatever, HubSpot is stabilized now. So you found a place of refuge during the storm, and now we can all go back to work. Thank you all for spending this hour with us, and hope to see you again next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Everybody.
Yeah.